Need to take a large amount of data and make it easy to understand? In analytics, charts can prove how a picture is worth 1,000 words, or 1,000 rows of data. When you add a new chart to a story, you start by defining the model or data set from which it will draw the data to display. The Builder panel then opens automatically. From here, you can configure your chart by choosing which measures and dimensions in the data source you want to visualize, the full selection of which is visible in the Available Objects panel. Not sure what measures and dimensions are? Check out the What Are Measures and What Are Dimensions videos in this playlist to find out. You're prompted to make the minimum selections necessary, which you can choose from the menu or click and drag into place. As you select your data, the chart updates dynamically. The required objects depend on the selected chart type, which is a bar or column chart by default. Other chart types are available, such as a numeric point chart for a single measure value. Once the chart is configured, other options are available to customize it further, such as adding features like thresholds, setting up linked analysis to enable changes in one chart to drive the same changes in others, and exporting the data behind a chart, all of which are covered in more detail in other videos. You can adjust how your values are presented by showing or hiding built-in elements of the widget, and customizing the number formatting defined in the underlying model in the Styling panel. You can then resize the widget to accommodate the overall page design you want to create. To reuse a chart that has already been formatted, you can duplicate it and then make changes to the selected measures and dimensions. You can also change to a different data source, which resets the configuration. You can also create and display new calculated measures and dimensions based on existing values, which is covered in the How to Create Calculations in Stories video in this playlist. You can make your charts more informative by segmenting your measure values based on a dimension and using color to differentiate between dimension members. Where a hierarchy has been set up, as with products organized into product groups, you can set the drill level, or drill up and down in the chart. From the More Actions menu, you can change the default sort order of members, which is defined by their order in the underlying model or dataset, to sort by dimension in ascending, descending, or custom order, or by measure from lowest or highest value. Similarly, you can apply ranking to show the top or bottom contributors to the measure on display, either for all dimensions or for the specific dimension displayed in the chart. In the Builder panel, there are more chart add-ons, like adding variants to your chart to show how members compare to other measures, versions, or time periods. Where the same measure is used in multiple charts, you can apply chart scaling, and then align the axes so the values can be visually compared across all members in both charts. More complex chart types are also available, like time series charts that take advantage of date dimensions in the model or dataset. For this type of chart, you can take advantage of navigation tools that let you best display your findings. Choose to show the relative differences in percentage between data points over time, rather than as absolute numbers. or use past values to automatically forecast future ones, which is covered in more detail in another video in this playlist. You can also choose chart types that show how values correlate and cluster together into meaningful patterns, how they contribute to the whole, or how they're distributed. Each chart type has characteristics that you can configure to refine your visualizations. For example, for bubble and scatterplot charts like this one, you can apply smart grouping, which identifies data points that share similar properties and clusters them into groups, helping to visually differentiate them. For charts with axes, you can also edit the axis values, either by setting the minimum or maximum values, or enabling them to change dynamically based on how the values displayed may change. All this is just a selection of the charting features available. For more details on how you can visualize your data in charts, check out the links in the description and try it for yourself today.